Hi, this is John Mack at Full Sail University in Integrated Product Deployment, and this is my final walkthrough video for Family, which is a family-centric social media platform designed specifically for individual households and the members of that family. So in this video, you'll notice as in previous weeks, we have two devices on the screen. We have our Android device on the left-hand side, our iOS device on the right, and we will be using a third physical device off screen as a part of this demonstration as well. In this walkthrough, we will walk through the entire application, starting with creating an account, adding individual profiles to that account, and making changes to the account and some of those profiles. And we'll then jump right into the family news feed, and then move into our permission request features, and then finally we'll look at the check-in feature. So to jump right into the demonstration here, we'll go ahead and open the application up on both devices. Sorry about that. When you open the app for the first time, it will automatically attempt to log in. If it's not able to log in, whether because the user has never logged into the app on their device before, or if they've logged out, they'll be brought immediately to the login screen, which you see here. From this screen, the user can log into an existing account, request a password reset link if they forgot their password, or create a new account. And since we don't have an account, we can't log in or request a password reset yet. So we'll start with creating a new account on the Android device. So to begin with, we're going to enter our family's last name. And as we do this, you'll see our input fields changing color to let the user know whether or not their input is valid. Next, we'll enter our street address. And then finally, we'll enter our zip code. And when we click continue, we'll then be able to enter our family's master account email address. Oops, that's not a valid email address. We'll use a different address. And we'll create a master password. Now from here, one thing that we'll point out is this is the only time the user will be asked to provide an email address and password combination. The email address and password is required only for the master account. And this is to give parents direct control over the account and prevent children or individual profiles on the account that aren't authorized to make changes from doing so. Individual users will be authenticated with their first name and a profile pin that they assign when they are creating their profiles. So as soon as we click continue, the master account is actually created dynamically on the back end without breaking the user's flow. Next, we'll be able to add a family photo. And for the family photo, we'll go ahead and get one from the camera. If that camera wants to open for us. All right, looks like the camera's not working on our emulator. So we'll go ahead and add our first parent profile. We'll enter our first name and the parent's date of birth. There we go. I forgot how to change the year for a second. Sorry about that. So we'll say dad's birth date is September 10th, 1982. He is a male, and he is a dad. We'll create his PIN number. And continue. And we'll add his And we'll just continue without a photo, and we'll show how to do that later. So for now, let's just add one profile to the account with Dad, and we'll finish. And then we'll come over here and log into our iOS device as Dad, and we'll add a few more profiles. So we've logged into our master account, and now we're going to log into our individual profile within that account. And we're now logged into our account as Dad. So we'll come over to our profile. Dad doesn't have a location yet. That's okay. We'll get to that. So for now, let's go ahead and add a photo for Dad. We could also do this on the off-screen device, but this is just to get us going. And there's Dad's photo. So you'll see when we make that change, it's dynamic and updates across devices. And now we'll just go ahead and add a couple more family members. We'll add 3 more family members. We'll add 1 more parent. So let's add Mom to the account. Mom is a female. And we'll add a photo for her. And we'll create that profile. Let's go ahead and add a couple of children. As a fun fact, this is actually the name of my family members, by the way. And you see when we add a child, we're not asked for a family role because they're automatically a child. And we'll continue here. And we'll just pick a random photo for Breland. And we'll add 1 more child. All right, so let's say we're finished adding our profiles to our account. We can actually add additional profiles to the account whenever we want to, simply by going to the family screen, which is only accessible to parents, and clicking on the Add Profile button. That is available anytime the parent wants to do so. And let's also add a family photo. We'll do that from our physical Android device. And first we'll log in over here. And so we're logging into Mom's profile on our physical device. Oh, and we logged into the wrong account, bear with me. There we go. So we're going to update the family photo, and I'm going to use the camera and just take a quick selfie, or I'll take a picture of our screen here so that we can showcase that the camera is working. For some reason, it's just not working on the physical device. So we've updated our family photo. And if we were to go back into our family profile, we'll see that updated photo populate. So there you can see that that was taken from the camera real time. The camera is working, it's just giving us issues on the emulator at the moment. So we're logged into our left-hand side Android device as a parent. We're logged into our off-screen Android device as the other parent. So we're going to log out of our iOS device and we'll log back in as one of our children. And we're doing that because it's important to showcase a few of the differences in the way the app behaves for children versus parents. So now we're logged in as a child over here. One of the major differences is you'll see that children do not have access to the family profile screen, which means they also don't have access to the option to delete profiles. Those two options are only available to parents. So to showcase, we're not going to delete the account until the very end, but we will showcase the ability to, we've already shown you how you can make changes to individual profiles by updating their photos. Next, we'll real quickly just demonstrate that it is possible for parents to delete a family member. So we've deleted that family member, and that is persistent across devices. So if we were to log back in over here as mom real quick, it helps if I use the right pin for the profile. While that was not intentional, that does showcase that attempting to log into a profile with the wrong PIN number or the wrong name will not work. You will not be able to log in because you don't know that profile's credentials. However, if we log in with the correct credentials, we're good to go. So if we come back over here and log in as mom, you'll see that Myra was successfully moved from the family account. And we'll just log back out and log back in as our child so we can showcase those differences. That's a good example of Breland trying to log into mom's account but not knowing her PIN. So first what we'll do is you'll notice that Breland also as a child does not have access to edit the family account, but mom and dad do. So we're just going to make some changes to the family information real quick. And what you'll notice here is on this screen, to make these changes, it is required to enter your master account email. This is not requiring you to change the password. The password is required to make changes to the account. So if I don't enter that password, I can't make any changes to the account, but provided I enter the correct master password, I can save those changes. So you'll see we're now the Jones family at 8741 Grouse Run Lane 28314. That has changed. So again, if we were logged in on our parent profile over here, we would see that change happen. And just to showcase that again, I'm going to change that information back on our off-screen device, and you'll see those changes take place or take hold pretty quickly over here on our on-screen device. So we're just changing that information again. And we're just going to change it back to what it was so you can see the changes take place. Now, before I click save, we'll come over here and look at our family. You see right now we're the Jones family at 8741 Grouse Run Lane 28314. And we'll save those changes. And we are now the Mack family at 8741 Grouse Run 28304. So those changes take place pretty quickly across devices. Right. So the next thing we'll do is look at the family newsfeed. Now the family newsfeed doesn't really change much in behavior across different users. It acts pretty much the same for both parents and children alike. So since we don't have any images saved on our Android device, we'll just create a post without text. And we'll update our newsfeed. Now you'll notice that the newsfeed doesn't automatically populate with that post on any of the devices, and that's because if a new post is created, we don't want to break the user's experience by having the screen jumping around while they're trying to read the posts that are currently visible. However, we can pull down and refresh to get new posts on our devices whenever we want. We'll come over here and we'll create a post with an image with Breland's profile. And we get notification that that post was successfully created. And if we refresh our screen, we'll see that post. And again, just to showcase the camera functionality is working, we'll do a post with no text that does include an image. So we have different options here. Oh, I logged myself out. So Dad has created a post. Breland, our child, has created a post. And, excuse me, I'm trying to log back in on our Android device. Bear with me. Our off-screen Android device. I'm going to have a hard time typing. There we go. So for Mom, we will create a post with an image but no text. And again, we'll do that using our camera. So we've created that post, and if we refresh, we'll see that post appear on our devices. And our internet seems to be running a little bit slow on us. There we go. Right. And the other thing that we'll showcase here as far as posts with images is the ability to view those images full screen. right? Next, we'll look at some of our editing features. So you can see here, there are a couple of icons that are starting to show up and go away depending on the post. These are our edit and delete buttons. So this functionality allows us to delete posts if they are less than 2 minutes old, and then edit posts if they are less than 5 minutes old, which is why you'll see this post here is more than 2 minutes old, so we can no longer delete it, but we can still edit it. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and delete our most recent post, and that post is gone. So if we refresh, that post will no longer show up. So these two posts are too old for us to delete, but we can still edit them. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll see those changes take effect. So that's pretty much it for our newsfeed functionality. Next, we'll jump over to our permission request functionality. So this is where the app starts to act a little bit more differently for children. You'll see on the left on our parent profile, our permission request screen does not give us any input, and that's because parents aren't requesting permission. Parents are responding to permission requests. The child is the one that has the option to request permission. So what we'll do is we'll say, Breland wants to go. She wants to go to the mall with Myra. We'll send that request. And again, you won't see this update immediately because if the user is reading content, we don't want to break that experience. But we can pull down to refresh and we'll see those permission requests. So we have a couple of icons showing up on our screens and they both look a little bit different. On Breland's screen, we have no interaction enabled in our list here. We simply have a thumbs up that is kind of a tannish orange color, and that means that this permission request is pending a response from Breland's parents. So our parents over here see two buttons next to the response that are kind of washed out a little bit. That means that we're waiting for that parent's response. They can either click on the red thumbs down button to say no, or the green thumbs up button to say yes. If one single parent says no, then that request is denied even if another parent says yes. So to showcase what we're talking about here, we're going to submit another request. And this time, Dad is going to say yes. But what you'll notice is we said yes on both profiles accidentally. So I accidentally approved both of those requests. So we'll create a new request. All right, so we've got our new request. And on our off-screen device, Mom's going to say yes. And that request is still pending because both parents are required to say yes. So if Dad says no, that request is denied. And we'll try it one more time, showcasing that functionality on the on-screen device. So there's our new request. And we'll give our emulator just a second to catch up to us here. All right. So Dad's going to say yes. If we refresh, That request is still pending because both parents have to say yes. So if dad says yes and mom says no, which she just did on the off-screen device, that request is denied. Now, we'll showcase saying yes on both parents' ends. So Breland wants to watch a movie. If we refresh, there's our pending request. Dad's going to say yes. If we refresh, that request is still pending. And now we'll go to our off-screen device and mom will say yes. And we'll see if I can, there we go. And our request is approved. So for permission requests, if one parent denies the request, it is denied. The family app does encourage a little bit of unity between parents, so both parents have to be in agreement if a request is going to be approved. Otherwise, if one parent says no, then the answer is no. And then finally, we'll move into our check-in functionality, and there's a couple of differences here as well. And you can see one of our major differences is that this emulator seems to be having issues with Google Play as well. So bear with me here, I'm not showing any code, but we're just going to jump over to a different device that runs lower, but does not have those Google Play issues, so we'll be able to showcase our map functionality. So we'll just give this a second to catch up to us. And we'll log out of our test account here and log into our demo account. And we'll have to be a little bit more patient with this particular emulator. The reason we were using the other one is because this emulator seems to want to run a little slow on us, but the other one doesn't want to seem to cooperate with Google Maps. So we'll get logged into Dad's profile real quick. And it would help if we remembered we updated our account email. There we go. All right, so now we're logged back into the wrong account. Nope, that is the correct account. There we go. All right, so here is our map. So on the right, we're showing Breland's location. On the left, we're showing Dad's location. So anytime the user navigates to this app, this screen of the app, it will automatically begin updating the user's location every 5 minutes. So that's going to do a couple of things for us. The first thing that's going to happen is if the user checks in, that's going to update their location as well as create a newsfeed post with that user's check-in information. We can also check in with a message if we choose to do so. And this is the emulator starting to run a little slow on us. If we refresh, we'll see that post with the user's message. And then we can also include an image with our check-in if we choose to do so. Now, the nice thing about the check-in functionality here on or the photo functionality on our check-in feature is that it will only allow you to add photos from the camera. So what this is doing is preventing if a parent wants, excuse me, if a parent wants photographic evidence of the child's location, this prevents the child from uploading a photo from their gallery and forces them to provide a photo from their current surroundings. I apologize. This is why we're not using this emulator, because it's giving us problems that don't actually exist in the app. And a slow internet connection and slow UI speeds is one of those issues. And the reason the button over here is not working is because the Apple emulator actually does not include camera functionality. So we have to showcase that on our Android device. So here we go with our camera, and we'll take that picture. And we will do it from our physical device because our emulator does not want to cooperate with us. So on our physical device, we will create a check-in with a photo using mom's device. So now that check-in has been created, if we refresh, apologies for the issues there. This is simply an issue with the emulator. The emulator is causing something weird that only happens on this particular emulator. Does not happen on physical devices. For some reason, it's just this one. So the other cool thing that a parent can do through the check-in feature is locate individual family members. And we'll showcase here. You see this Find Family Member button that is only available to parents. It is not available to Breland since she is not a parent. So what this allows us to do is select any family member on our account and view their last known location. We can also click the Locate button, and that will pull their information. And if their location has been updated since the last time we clicked that button, it will pull that information and display that for us. So we've located mom, we'll locate Breland. And if we choose to, we can even locate ourselves. So the other kind of cool thing here is if we click on the map marker, if we choose to, we can actually pull up Google Maps and navigate to the location that came up on that search. So that's kind of a cool feature. Right, and we'll move back to the emulator that behaves. So that's pretty much it. We've created an account. We've showcased that you can log out of individual profiles. We've made some updates to our account. We deleted a profile. We've shown off our family newsfeed functionality, our permission request functionality, and our check-in functionality. So the only thing that's really left to show is the ability to delete the family account. And again, that's not an option that's available for children. But before we do that, we'll showcase one other thing that kind of ties into the profile here. You'll see posts when you go to the profile that are specific just to that particular profile. So here are just Dad's posts. Here are just Breland's posts. And if a family member wants to go and view another family member's profile, they will see just their posts. So that's kind of cool. And then the other thing that you'll notice is rather than going into the check-in screen and a family member is looking at profiles on the profile screen, you can actually see that particular family member's last known location right here on their profile as well. So that's kind of a nice little added layer of location services. And then the last thing we'll showcase is the ability to delete the family altogether. And to do that, a parent on the account simply needs to click on the, oh, that's our profile. Let's go to our family account. A parent profile simply needs to click on the delete button in their account. They'll be provided with this confirmation to make sure they actually want to do it. And if they delete that account, they're logged back out. And the next time a child tries to, or any family member tries to use that account, they will not be able to log in because it no longer exists. And that is it. That is our final demonstration for family. Thank you so much for your time in the past 2 months. It has been frustrating, but it has been enjoyable. And I look forward to seeing where this takes me. Thank you.